Today is January 6th, Epiphany, Three Kings Day, Dia de los Tres Reyes. It's the 12th day of Christmas. And when the three kings visited baby Jesus, and I have an activity on my English language learning website for English language learners. But before getting to that, a little introduction. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I'm not very good with the camera, and I don't have a very good camera. I make these videos because I like tradition, and I like to share them. You're looking at what we call in Italian un presepio. In English, it's a manger. This is where baby Jesus was born, and 12 days after he was born is when the three kings visited him. It's not unusual for people like me to keep our Christmas decorations until January 6th or even a few days later. This is a new tradition I'm starting on Epiphany, January 6th. One of my favorite recipes during this time of the year. Salted anchovies that I clean very thoroughly, and then I put them in a pan like that with olive oil and garlic. And I have a recipe for this on my YouTube channel. So this Epiphany lesson begins like this. Here is the story of Epiphany in simple English by me. Read it with anybody. So I encourage you to work with someone with this activity. If you have to, you can work by yourself, but it's always nice to work with other people. So the information you read here, Christmas Day is December 25th, which is Jesus Christ's birthday. This day is also the first day of Christmas, and there are 12 days of Christmas. The 12th day of Christmas is January 6th, and this day is the Epiphany. So I wrote this in simple English. If this is too easy for you, go to the website. That's a little more difficult. Then, following this simple English are some exercises to check our comprehension. For example, how many days does Christmas have? When is Epiphany? How many kings visit baby Jesus? And there's a video, and it's the song, The 12 Days of Christmas. This song, The 12 Days of Christmas, teaches us that each day has something to do about the Christian religion. So the first day of Christmas is a partridge on a pear tree. Now what does that mean, a partridge on a pear tree? So this is a picture here of a partridge on a pear tree, and then in the columns over here you'll see some meanings, and you have to match the image with the meaning. And that will help us understand the 12 days of Christmas. Then there's a website called Herod the Great, Story Nori. And Story Nori is a pretty good website because we can not only read, but we can also listen.
Understand the time and the place.
So there's a woman whose name is Elizabeth, and she's going to read this story that helps us understand the background or the history we need to know to better understand the three kings or Epiphany. And then I follow this with some questions, some activities for you to speak with a friend. So we have to understand something about the wise men, the Gospel of St. Matthew, King Herod. The story explains it, and we can find the answers. There's another website that gives us more details about Three Kings Day, and especially 12 facts and traditions about it. So we can read this with a friend, and then come back to my exercises, and then you'll have some comprehension questions. For example, why may children leave their shoes out on the Epiphany? Which day do people celebrate more, Christmas or the Epiphany? Why? What are some other names for Epiphany? So you can answer those questions with a friend. You can post any questions you have on my website. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Then the last part of this activity is a website, but there's no one speaking. So I chose this as our last activity because after reading about it and speaking about it, we can watch this with a friend and we can talk about it. It's to practice our speaking. I hope you enjoy these exercises. Please post your questions. And happy Three Kings Day.